What if I told you one of the greatest NFL quarterbacks was bagging groceries just a few years before he won Super Bowl MVP? Kurt Warner's journey from grocery store clerk to football legend reads like a Hollywood script. A story of grit that took him from stocking shelves to lighting up scoreboards. After going undrafted, Warner faced the humbling reality of minimum wage work while clinging to his NFL dream. But his time in arena football and NFL Europe forged skills that would soon shock the world. How does a man go from ringing up groceries to rewriting record books in 2 different decades? The answer isn't simple, but this story will make you wonder how it almost never even happened. In 1994, the NFL draft came and went without Kurt Warner's name being called. 222 players were selected. Warner wasn't one of them. It was the first of many rejections in a career built on beating the odds. At Northern Iowa, Warner spent 3 quiet years buried on the depth chart before finally starting as a senior. He led the team to a conference title and earned Gateway Conference Player of the Year. But for NFL scouts, it wasn't enough. One good season at a small school didn't outweigh the lack of pedigree and measurables. He didn't get a combine invite, no workouts, no calls. Undrafted, Warner faced a choice: give up or find another way. With a newborn and a fiance, he took a $5.50 an hour job stocking shelves at Hy-Vee grocery store in Cedar Falls, Iowa. While other quarterbacks were signing 7-figure contracts, Warner was loading frozen food just to get by and support his family. At 4:30 a.m., he'd wake up to run routes with his brother in parking lots. To the league, he didn't exist, but to himself, he was still a quarterback. Just 1.6% of college football players make it to the NFL. The odds for undrafted players, even lower. But Warner kept training, studying, waiting. Not because anyone was watching, because he believed someone eventually would. Obscurity can break or build you. Warner chose the latter. He treated every day like a step toward the NFL, even if it didn't look like one. Then came something unexpected. A league few took seriously, but it was still football. It wasn't glamorous, but it was a chance. And sometimes, that's all it takes. He wasn't on the usual path to the NFL, but maybe the usual path was never meant for him. In 1995, Kurt Warner signed with the Iowa Barnstormers of the Arena Football League. At the time, most saw this as the end of his NFL aspirations. Arena football was considered a minor league spectacle, played on 50-yard fields with rebound nets and scores that regularly reached triple digits. But instead of being a career dead end, it became Warner's secret weapon. The suffocating enclosure of the arena walls forced his brain to adapt quickly as his arm, compressing NFL-level decision-making into lightning-fast reactions. With only 8 players per side and defenders blitzing from any angle, Warner took hits that would stagger NFL quarterbacks, including one that knocked him unconscious mid-play. These brutal conditions forged his signature skills, releasing the ball in split seconds and threading throws through traffic with surgical precision. His 183 touchdowns to just 39 interceptions over 2 seasons weren't just stats. They were proof he'd mastered the chaos, leading Iowa to back-to-back Arena Bowl appearances while NFL teams overlooked him. The Arena League also tested Warner's leadership. Teammates worked second jobs because they were only making $1,000 per game. Yet he transformed this patchwork roster into contenders. When he moved to NFL Europe's Amsterdam Admirals in 1998, the challenges shifted but the lessons held. Grueling transatlantic travel mixed with rosters of prospects and fading veterans became his next classroom. Warner responded by leading the league in touchdowns and passing yards, taking the Admirals to the World Bowl. By 1998, the Rams offered a third-string role. Warner had played more high-pressure snaps than most first-round picks. The arena's breakneck pace and Europe's varied defenses had trained him to excel when everything was on the line, a skill that no pristine NFL facility could teach. As training camp opened up in 1999, Warner remained an afterthought behind Trent Green. But the grocery store clerk turned arena star knew one truth: when opportunity arises, you either seize it or watch it disappear. His chance would come sooner than anyone expected, under circumstances that no one could have imagined. When the Rams signed Kurt Warner in 1998 as their third-string quarterback, most saw the position as temporary. Head coach Dick Vermeil appreciated Warner's work ethic, but had no plans to use him as anything more than an emergency option. Trent Green, the Rams' newly signed starter, was set to lead the offense, while Warner spent practices holding clipboards and running the scout team. At 28 years old, Warner was older than most NFL newcomers, and this unusual path through the Arena League and NFL Europe didn't inspire confidence. Then came the 1999 preseason game against San Diego, a moment that would rewrite the Rams' season, even if no one knew it at the time. When a late hit tore Green's ACL, Vermeil faced a choice: trust Warner or back up Joe Germain. Critics called it a franchise-ending decision, pointing to Warner's mere 11 career NFL passes. For context, Patrick Mahomes had triple that before his first start. The grocery stocker turned quarterback now helmed an offense built for a proven veteran. Warner's Week 1 debut against Baltimore silenced doubters immediately. Facing one of the league's toughest defenses, he threw for 309 yards and 3 touchdowns in a 27-10 rout. His arena football instinct shone, releasing passes in under 2.5 seconds, outmaneuvering rushers, and syncing perfectly with receivers Isaac Bruce and Torrey Holt. Where the Rams expected chaos, they found precision. The Falcons and Bengals fell next, each game adding to Warner's legend. 3 touchdowns here, another 3 there. The question shifted from, can he last, to how far can he go? By midseason, the greatest show on turf was born, with Warner's quick strike mastery making the Rams unstoppable. His defining moment came in Week 6 against San Francisco, torching the Niners with 5 touchdown passes. Teammates marveled at his calm, a trait forged in grocery aisles and arena football scrambles. By season's end, the man once labeled a liability held MVP honors and a Super Bowl berth. Warner hadn't just replaced Green, he'd redefined what preparation could achieve. The ultimate test awaited in Super Bowl 34, a chance to crown football's unlikeliest hero. Super Bowl 34 became Warner's coronation. Facing Tennessee's top-ranked defense, he shattered records with 414 passing yards, including the iconic 73-yard strike to Bruce that sealed the win. The throw encapsulated his season. Flawless timing, pinpoint accuracy, and the audacity to attack when it mattered most. The 1999 Rams transformed into something the NFL hadn't seen before with Kurt Warner at the helm. Dubbed the greatest show on turf, this offense redefined passing attacks through Warner's chemistry with Isaac Bruce and Torrey Holt. Bruce's deep speed and Holt's precise routes paired perfectly with Warner's quick release and downfield vision, while Mike Martz's schemes stretched defenses vertically for explosive plays every single drive. Warner's improbable rise from grocery store clerk to record breaker became the season's defining story. His 41 touchdown passes led the league by a wide margin, 5 more than second-place Steve Berline, while his 109.2 passer rating still ranks among the NFL's top 10 single-season performances. The numbers reflected his mastery: 65.1% completion rate, 8.7 yards per attempt, in 9 300-yard games in an era dominated by run-heavy offenses. But what set Warner apart was his preternatural calm under pressure, honed in arena football's chaotic trenches. The condensed field had trained him to make lightning-fast reads, a skill that left NFL blitzes looking sluggish by comparison. The Rams' 32.9 point average, nearly 10 points above anyone else in the league, proved pass-heavy offenses could win championships. Warner's journey from obscurity to MVP didn't just defy expectations. It rewrote the NFL's offensive playbook. As confetti rained in Atlanta, one question lingered. Could this underdog sustain magic beyond one miraculous year? After the 1999 Super Bowl win, some still question Kurt Warner. Was he just the lucky trigger man in a historic offense? In 2001, he responded loud and clear, throwing 36 touchdowns, leading the Rams to a 14-2 record, and earning his second MVP in just 3 years. Only a handful of players have ever done that. The numbers said he wasn't just a part of the system, he might have been its engine. But momentum fades fast in the NFL. By 2004, injuries and inconsistency had taken their toll. He was benched in St. Louis, struggled with the Giants, and at 34, signed with Arizona. Most saw it as the quiet end to a short, bright career. The idea that his early run was a fluke started creeping back in. Then came 2008 with the Arizona Cardinals, and with it, something few saw coming. Warner reclaimed the starting job, and more than that, he led the Cardinals on a playoff run no one expected. In Super Bowl 43, he threw for 377 yards and 3 touchdowns against the league's top defense, nearly pulling off a last-minute win. Suddenly, the questions changed. Maybe he wasn't done after all. Maybe he never was. 3 Super Bowl appearances with 2 different teams, something only a few legends have done, proved his adaptability. He didn't just survive in different systems, he evolved. Even in his late 30s, he found new ways to win. By the time he was inducted into the Hall of Fame in 2017, it wasn't just the stats that mattered, it was the story. Setbacks, doubt, reinvention, over and over. His wife Brenda, who stood by him through every high and low, said it best. His journey was never supposed to be easy. Now, his Hy-Vee name tag sits in Canton, a symbol of everything he overcame. And it leaves you wondering, is greatness something you're born with, or something you refuse to let go of? Kurt Warner's Hall of Fame induction in 2017 wasn't just about stats. It was a victory for every undrafted player who refused to quit. His Hy-Vee grocery store name tag now rests in Canton beside his gold jacket. The symbol that greatness isn't defined by where you start, but by seizing your moment when it comes. From stocking shelves to Super Bowl victory, Warner's journey reminds us that opportunity favors the prepared, not the pedigreed. His story is proof. The next throw matters more than the last one. Like a diamond forged under pressure, his legacy shines brightest because of the grind and an unwavering refusal to give up.